This domestic case had been going on for some time, about 2 years. It was a heated custody battle and there was plenty of property and money involved as well. Throughout this time, the defendant had been stalked by his ex-wife's boyfriend and some of his friends. At one time, they were all friends, so it really got muddied up over time. Prior to me getting involved, the defendant had been telling his attorney that he thought he was being watched by someone, probably his ex-wife. Then he started seeing her new boyfriend's pickup everywhere he went. The boyfriend would just drive past and wave like nothing was happening, but it only seemed to happen when the defendant had the kids. Then it happened. The defendant was leaving a grocery store with his two kids, a boy and a girl, aged 7 and 10. As they approached the stoplight, his daughter said, "There he is again, Daddy." Sure enough, there was Mom's boyfriend in his pickup truck right behind them. He could tell his daughter was getting really scared, so he decided to pull into a shopping center. As he pulled into the left turn lane, the light turned red. Suddenly, the defendant saw the pickup truck kept moving towards his car. Then boom, it hit him. The kids started crying out of fear. The defendant was totally at a loss as to what to do. He throws his car into park and starts to try to calm down the kids while calling the police. Then he looks into his rearview mirror and he sees the boyfriend getting out of his pickup. In an effort to keep things from escalating, the defendant exits his car and starts walking toward the boyfriend. Now, as the boyfriend approached him rapidly, the defendant saw him reach his right hand towards his back hip and grab something that he thought was a gun. In a completely defensive move, the defendant then took a swing and knocked the boyfriend down. He then held the boyfriend down on the ground and continued calling the police. The boyfriend eventually convinced him to let him go. Then he went back to his pickup to wait for the police. This video is sponsored by OREP Insurance and Working PI Magazine. OREP is a leading provider of private investigator liability insurance. Visit orep.org for a quote today. When the police arrived, they spoke with the boyfriend first. He was obviously injured, so they questioned the defendant quickly, and as soon as he said that he had struck him, the defendant was placed under arrest. The police never talked to the kids prior to arresting. The police never spoke to witnesses prior to arresting him. The police just arrested him first and asked questions later. The questions they did ask the kids were ones like, did your dad hit that other man? And was your dad mad at that other man? And did your dad back his car into that other man's pickup? Okay, so after I got involved, I discovered that was how things evolved that day. But when you read the police reports, it sounded like a completely different scene altogether. According to the police reports, the boyfriend just happened to be in the area and saw the defendant and the kids. Then suddenly, he threw his car into reverse and smashed into his pickup for no reason. According to the police reports, this was confirmed by several eyewitnesses as well. There were 4 total eyewitnesses. One was a lady who lived in the neighborhood and was at the intersection coming out of the shopping center where the stoplight was. The other was a man from the neighborhood who was standing at the opposite side of the intersection waiting to cross and go to the shopping center. And the other 2 were a couple who were leaving the neighborhood at the same time. I started with the lady who was driving out of the shopping center. I went to her house the same day I conducted my scene investigation. I always try to get to the scene as soon as I can so I can get a good idea of what it's like and where everything is, and then I try to conduct all of my interviews while I am in the area. The witness was very friendly. She let me into the house, offered me coffee. She then went on to tell me how dangerous that intersection was and how many improvements she thought needed to be made there. I asked her what she had seen that day. She told me she was going home from the grocery store. The man in the car in front backed his car into the nice man's pickup behind him, then got out and punched him in the face for no good reason. Okay, did you catch that? The man in the car backed his car into the nice man's pickup, then got out of his car and punched him in the face. So I had to ask, ma'am, do you know the man that was driving the pickup? She says, no, I never met him before. So my next question is, you met him? She says, oh, he was very polite. I don't know why anybody would want to hurt him. Okay, ma'am, thank you very much. I really appreciate you sharing all of this information with me. Tell me really quick, where were you when you saw the car back into the pickup? Well, I didn't see it back into the pickup, but after I heard the crash, I pulled over and I saw the car was back into the pickup. Okay, did you see the car's reverse lights on? Oh, I did. Right after I looked into my rearview mirror, I saw the backup lights come on. The white ones, you know. They came on. Then the guy got out of his car and then he punched that nice young man. Let me try to understand this correctly. Let's go over it step by step. When was the first time you saw the car or the pickup? Well, I never noticed them until I heard the crash and looked in my mirror. Okay, when you got to the light, did you see them? No, I don't think so. The light was green and I was in a hurry to get home. I just went right through. I guess I passed right by them, but I never really noticed them. Then you heard the crash. What did you do? Well, then I looked in my mirror. I saw the car's reverse lights come on, and then he got out of his car and he punched that nice young man right in the face. You heard the crash. You saw the reverse lights come on. Then he got out of his car and he walked over to the pickup and he punched the other man in the face. Yes, sir. Okay, now just so y'all understand, she saw the reverse lights come on after she heard the crash. Now, with most automatic transmission cars these days, when you go from drive into park, you pass over reverse and those backup lights come on very briefly. Next, I ask her about when she spoke with the nice man. She tells me when the police got there, they talked to him. Then they arrested the other guy. He came over to make sure we all knew he was okay and let us know the other guy was going to jail for ramming his car into his pickup and assaulting him. I'm like, okay, who is we all? And she said me and that other guy who saw it too, and some other folks that had came by. I'm like, the other guy who saw it? What's his name? And of course, she knew him. And he was witness number 2 on my list. He was the man waiting to cross over to go to the shopping center. I get to the next witness's house, and he's happy to sit outside on the porch and talk to me. I ask him to go over what he saw that day. He says, well, I was waiting there at the light to cross over and go to the grocery store. Then suddenly I heard that car back into the pickup. Then the driver of the car got out of his car and went and punched the other guy right in the face for no reason. Okay, sir, let me get this straight. After you heard the car crash into the pickup, you saw the guy get out of the car and punched the other guy. That's pretty much sums it up. Did you see the car hit the truck? Well, I don't remember. I mean, he did. There it was. It was backed right into the pickup. Okay, sir, did you speak with the driver of the car? Oh, no, the police arrested him right away. The guy with the pickup told us he was going to jail for a long time. Oh, really? What else did he tell you? Well, he said that guy, he rammed my pickup. He just threw his car in reverse and rammed it. Then he got out and he punched me for no reason. He must be crazy or something. Okay, on to witnesses 3 and 4. The couple who were leaving the neighborhood. I spoke to the wife and she says, I didn't see anything. I was in the passenger seat, my husband was driving, then we heard this loud crash, and he looked in the rearview mirror and said there was an accident. So he turned around and went back to make sure everyone was okay. I never saw anything, though. I was looking straight ahead. So you guys were driving away from the accident? Yes. Did you notice the vehicles when you went through the light? No, I don't remember. I was on my phone. Next, I speak with the husband. What did you see? I saw the car crash into the pickup. Was the car going forward when that happened? Well, he must have been going backwards since he was in front of the pickup. Okay, you were driving north and you saw in your rearview mirror to the south. Yep. So you were driving and staring in your rearview mirror? Well, no, I heard the crash and then I looked and saw it. Okay, then you turned around and you went back to see if everyone was okay. Yeah, I went back and I saw one guy holding the other guy down on the ground. Then what did you do? I pulled up and I asked if everybody was okay. And he said, yeah, the police are on their way. So I pulled over and I parked and I waited for the police. Did you speak with anyone besides the police, sir? Oh yeah, the driver of the pickup. He told us what happened and that the other guy was a lunatic and he would be going to jail for a long time. So you spoke with the driver of the pickup. Anyone else? Yeah, there was Mrs. So-and-so and Mr. So-and-so, those other 2 witnesses. They both live in the same neighborhood. They saw it all too. Okay, folks, this case was unbelievable. Not only did all 4 eyewitnesses turn out not to be eyewitnesses, they all had tainted stories as well because they had spoken with each other and they had spoken with one of the subjects of the case. The police were so busy arresting the defendant, they never bothered to separate the witnesses or even take notice that the alleged victim was talking to all of the witnesses. I was also able to obtain some security video from a residence down the street that showed the entire activity, and it was obvious. The pickup hit the car. The guy got out of the pickup, placed his hand behind his back in an aggressive motion like he had a gun, and pulled something out. Later we found out it was a small gray notebook from his back pocket, but to a frightened father, this could easily look like a small handgun in the hands of his ex-wife's boyfriend. What is the number 1 rule to witness interviewing? First, let the witness talk, then let them talk, and then let them talk some more. The more the witness talks, the better off you are. After they tell you their story, have them go through it in slow motion, 1 step at a time. Make sure you got it right. Then make sure you reiterate everything back to them to confirm your understanding. And always, always, always ask them what they saw. If they heard something, felt something, smelled something, ask them more questions. Make sure that it is what they saw. Confirm they saw it with their eyes.